Everybody being shy? Anybody excited? I know we got some church people up in here. I would define it as doing what's right for the right reason. Anyone else? When you think of the word righteous, what comes to your mind in your own words?
Old 70s slang word.
Righteous. I grew up in Church of God in Christ. My parents are here, they're both reverends. And you always hear about the word righteous, God's righteousness. And so it's a, in my opinion, it's an ethical, moral foundation, a spiritual idea that we're all supposed to subscribe to, that we're supposed to reach for. That when we look at the work that we do, it should come from a foundation of righteousness. But to have a foundation of righteousness, you have to have a foundation of love.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes in our work, we don't always come from a foundation of love. Meaning, the things that we do aren't righteous. It's not in accord with the nature of what we're trying to even accomplish. But sometimes love is correction. A father, perfect example. Sometimes love meant a smile. Sometimes a love meant some whoopings. Some punishment, some correction. Sometimes love is correction. Sometimes love is discipline. Love is education. Love is patience. Love is humility. Love is steadfast. It's long-suffering, meaning it's eternal. And that's the type of love that you have to have a righteous center of what we do. And sometimes I've been known to go off and say a lot of things about a lot of different people.
No, not Ian.
Yeah, not me. To those that know me. But you got to check yourself, because you have to understand, is it coming from a place of ego? Is your anger from a righteous foundation? Am I doing this for the love of my people? Am I doing this to serve a purpose greater than myself? Or am I just doing this to cuss you out? Because it makes me feel good. Because it makes my pain feel good. And I say this to the young people, because righteously, you have a lot of anger. Righteously, you have a lot of pain. Let's be honest. This country has let us down. Let you down. Let's be honest about that. And throughout your life, you're going to have to figure out ways to harness that anger to still come from a principle of love. Because what we know about God is love. Love is the fabric that's interconnected between all of us as human beings, as spiritual beings. And we must never forget that the work that we do to liberate ourselves and to help empower people to liberate themselves is from love. That's righteous. And so when you cuss someone out to protect your people, that's righteous. And when you educate somebody from a spirit of love, that's righteous. And when my son, who's acting a mess, when he comes to age and he's continuing to act a mess, when I discipline him, it comes from love. That's righteous. But when you do things for your own ego, when you're not in reciprocity living the life that you're talking about, you're a hypocrite. You're not speaking from love. You're an unrighteous person. When there's no harmony and balance and order in the things that you do, there is no love. So we constantly must check ourselves and make sure that the things that we think, that we speak, that we do comes from a place of love and a place of righteousness. And I'll close it out with, whether you serve Allah or God, there are certain things about the nature of God that you must do. Right? We must pray. We must meditate. We must feed the hungry, clothe the needy. We must serve. Right? So in the context of liberation work, because when we talk about righteousness of God, we talk about what's pleasing to God, what is pleasing to him or her. So when we talk about liberation work, we talk about what's pleasing to our ancestors, what is pleasing to our elders, what is pleasing to the spiritual beings who transition to the afterlife, who died for you, who sacrificed their careers for you. Who knows Paul Robeson? Playwright, poet, writer, athlete, everything.
Lawyer.
One of the greatest men that ever walked the face of this earth. Sacrificed his own career for you.
Right.
So while you're in this space and time right now, a man that could do anything that he wanted to in his life, he sacrificed it all for you. That's a righteous man. And when we talk about Harriet Tubman, who freed herself, when people wouldn't stand with her, who had to carry a gun to let you know that, hey, we getting free today. And if you try to mess up this freedom, I'm putting you down. That's righteous. Because I'm not doing this for myself. I'm going back to free other people. When we talk about Martin and Malcolm, we talk about all of our elders, Ida, everyone who sacrificed their lives, their careers, their comfort, time with their families to make sure that we can be here in this space and time eating JJ's fried chicken wings and being together as a beautiful people. We must ask ourselves, is our lives righteous? Are our lives pleasing to those ancestors who died for us? The things that we speak, the things that we act upon, is that righteous? Are we pleasing to what they've done for us? To that spiritual foundation. And it's more than voting. I know we always talk about our ancestors when it comes to voting. It's more than voting. It's about, are you willing to love your brother and sister when they don't love themselves?
That's deep.
Are you willing to liberate someone who doesn't even think they're worthy enough to being liberated? Are you willing to give up a life of comfort, a life of prestige? When I ran for office against Willie Hines, I gave up my seat. And a lot of people didn't understand it. You know why? Because they don't understand righteousness. That was a righteous fight. That's a fight that you take upon when you don't care about what's going to happen to you, because all you care about is your people. What I'm trying to tell you, beautiful black people, is that anytime that we get in a space like this and we talk about liberating our own kind, everybody always goes, what about this person? What about these people? Why are you trying to do this? It is righteous to fight for black people. It is righteous to be unapologetic to love yourselves as black people. To love your black kids, to love your black self. And to love everyone else in this community that's outside of these walls right now. That is a righteous fight. So when we talk about righteousness, when we talk about love, that's the spiritual foundation that translates into all the work that we do as people, as leaders in this community. And I'm telling you this to the young people because you are the ones who will liberate us from ourselves.
All right.
Our job is to prepare you for the work that you must do. We had time and we didn't do it. You got to do it. And you can't be too caught up in unrighteous foundations of money and material things. And unrighteous foundations of moving to the suburbs but not reaching a hand back to the brother on the block. You have the responsibility, the duty to the ancestors who died and gave their lives and careers for you to liberate yourself and liberate somebody else. That is your charge. That is your duty. That's what you must do. And you must operate from a spirit of love and kindness and patience and humility. To be reciprocal in the things that you do that you get back in return. If you want to be a righteous person. Ashe.
Ashe.